This is your medicine cabinet. It looks safe. It looks familiar. But right now, there is a serious hidden risk lurking inside these everyday bottles. Every year, thousands of people over 60 are hospitalized because of liver failure. And the worst part? It is often caused by medicines they trust completely. Medicines they buy over the counter. We are not talking about prescription drugs today. We are talking about the popular, easily accessible pills that you reach for every time your knee aches, your head pounds, or a cold starts to creep in. For decades, doctors have warned us privately about the danger of combining specific medications. Now, the official guidelines are changing. Medical experts are publicly stressing the urgency of stopping one specific habit that is devastating our vital organs. You need to know how two very common pills, often taken just hours apart, can combine inside your system to create a toxic stressor that slowly poisons your liver. Your liver is the quiet hero of your body. It is your main filter. It cleanses every chemical you ingest. If you are 60 or older, your liver is already working harder than it did 20 years ago. It processes medications slower. It clears toxins less efficiently. When we talk about the most common danger, we must talk about one ingredient that is everywhere: acetaminophen. You probably know it by the brand name Tylenol. But this ingredient hides everywhere. It is the silent star in hundreds of cold remedies, pain pills, headache relief formulas, and even some sleep aids. The danger isn't the ingredient itself, but the accidental overdose. It happens because we double up without realizing it. Think about a typical day. You woke up this morning and your arthritis flared. You reached for a pain reliever. Let's say you took 2 pills containing 500 milligrams of acetaminophen each. That is 1,000 milligrams ingested immediately. By late afternoon, you start feeling that scratchy throat. A general malaise sets in. You decide you are fighting a cold. You reach for a popular cold and flu mixture, perhaps a nighttime liquid or a daytime tablet. This is the exact moment the liver crisis begins. Why? Because almost every multi-symptom cold and flu remedy already contains acetaminophen. It is included to treat the fever and the aches that come with the cold. You have already reached your hand into the same toxic jar twice, but using 2 different product names. You thought you were taking a cold pill. You were actually taking a second dose of liver-stressing pain medication. Let's look closely at the numbers. For an average healthy adult, the safe maximum dose of acetaminophen in a 24-hour period is usually 4,000 milligrams. But if you are over 65, or if you have any pre-existing liver issues, even if you are just managing high cholesterol, your doctor will recommend capping your limit at 3,000 milligrams. It is shockingly easy to cross that 3,000 milligram line. You start the day with 1,000 milligrams for joint pain. By lunch, you decide to treat that headache with a sinus relief pill. You take 650 milligrams. Now you are at 1,750 milligrams. By dinner, you decide to use a popular multi-symptom cold powder dissolved in water. That powder often contains another 1,000 milligrams. You have now consumed 2,650 milligrams. You are close to the limit, but the cold keeps you up. So before bed, you take a sleep-inducing cold medicine, perhaps a well-known nighttime syrup. That syrup contains another 650 milligrams of acetaminophen. In a single day, you have just ingested 300 milligrams. You have silently and accidentally tipped yourself over the safe limit. This happened without ever taking too much of any single bottle. This is the definition of accidental doubling. The tiny print on the bottles makes this combination so dangerous. We often focus only on the main advertised ingredient. We focus on the decongestant, or the antihistamine, or the cough suppressant. We ignore the pain reliever hiding in plain sight. The pharmaceutical companies are required to list acetaminophen on the label, but it is often buried deep under confusing chemical names like APAP, or simply listed in small print as the first ingredient you ignore. When you exceed the liver's limit, the organ cannot efficiently break down the medicine. Instead, it creates a toxic byproduct called NAPQI. This chemical is corrosive. It literally damages the liver cells, creating inflammation and scarring. If this habit repeats, taking multiple acetaminophen products across several days, it creates cumulative stress. It's not a sudden crash. It's a slow, steady erosion of your liver function. The signs of early liver stress are vague and easily dismissed by seniors. You might feel general fatigue. You might have nausea. You might feel pain in your upper right abdomen, which you mistake for gas or indigestion. But these are early warning signals that your liver is struggling under the weight of medication overload. The first rule of pharmacy safety for seniors must be, before you take any cold, flu, or sinus medication, you must stop and check the label for acetaminophen. If you have already taken a pain reliever that day, put the cold medicine back. You must choose one or the other. You cannot combine a pain reliever like Tylenol with a multi-symptom cold remedy. Now, that is the most obvious combination danger. But there is a second combination, often far more insidious, that doctors are deeply concerned about. This combination involves pairing your necessary pain relief pills not with cold medicine, but with specific, seemingly harmless products you take every day to manage inflammation or stomach discomfort. In the next part, we will reveal this second dangerous combination, showing you which common pain pills react violently when combined with specific heartburn medication, and why this mixing significantly increases your risk of internal bleeding and liver toxicity. We established in the first segment that your liver, already facing the natural challenges of aging, has very little room left for error. That margin of safety shrinks dramatically when we unknowingly introduce a second, unnecessary dose of the same chemical. This isn't about intentional overdose, it's about the silent burden of hidden ingredients. The most common and arguably the most dangerous combination trap for anyone over 60 involves a substance you likely have in your medicine cabinet right now. It is the active ingredient in Tylenol, and it goes by three names: acetaminophen, APAP, or paracetamol. Your liver can process a safe amount of this chemical, usually up to 3,000 milligrams in 24 hours. But when that dose is exceeded, even slightly, or when those doses are packed too tightly together, the liver's primary cleanup crew is overwhelmed. Toxic byproducts begin to accumulate, and they start damaging the liver cells themselves. The reason so many seniors fall into this trap is simple. Acetaminophen is everywhere. It is a foundational ingredient in dozens of common remedies that treat entirely different symptoms. Let's look at the first critical combination you must stop right now. Trap 1. The pain pill and the cold remedy. Think about a common day during cold or allergy season. You might wake up with that nagging deep ache in your hip or knee. You reach for your trusted daily pain reliever. For many of you, that pill contains 500 or 650 milligrams of acetaminophen. Later that afternoon, a nasty headache settles in, or maybe you develop congestion and a low fever. You grab a cold and flu packet, the kind you mix into hot water, or maybe a convenient caplet from a familiar brand. You take it because you think you are treating the cold symptoms. But here is the critical failure point. Most popular multi-symptom cold and flu relief products contain a full dose of acetaminophen. They use it as the fever reducer and the headache reliever in the formula. You just took one dose of acetaminophen for your knee pain in the morning, and now you have unknowingly consumed a second full dose in the afternoon for your cold. Your liver sees these as two separate attacks happening too close together. If you repeat this routine, a pain pill first thing in the morning, followed by a cold or sinus pill after lunch, you're already approaching the toxic threshold for the day. If that afternoon pill is an extra-strength cold formula, you might even have passed the threshold without realizing it. You are simply treating two symptoms, but your body is processing the same chemical twice. This double-dip routine is the fastest way to put your liver under acute toxic stress. It is a compounding problem, hidden in plain sight. Trap 2. The sleep aid deception. This combination is far more subtle and hits hardest when seniors are trying to manage chronic nighttime pain. Many of you deal with stiffness or aches that prevent restful sleep. To combat this, pain manufacturers offer special PM versions of their standard pain relievers. These PM formulas seem like the perfect solution. They combine the pain reliever with a common sleep-inducing ingredient, usually diphenhydramine, which is the chemical found in Benadryl. The assumption is often made that the PM version is simply the standard pill with something added for sleep. But what most people miss is the strength of the pain reliever component in the PM formula. Imagine this scenario. You took your standard pain relief tablet around 4 p.m. to help you make dinner comfortably. Now it is 10 p.m. and your back is tightening up again, making it impossible to drift off. You reach for the bottle labeled Extra Strength Pain Relief PM. The standard pill you took earlier contained 500 milligrams of acetaminophen. The PM pill you are taking now, just 6 hours later, often contains another 500 to 650 milligrams. This is the critical mistake. You have added a major unnecessary burden right before your liver is supposed to slow down for the night. You've hit it with 2 massive spikes of acetaminophen within a very short window. When you use a PM product, you must assume you are taking a heavy dose of the primary ingredient, and that dose counts toward your maximum daily limit, regardless of how many hours you plan to sleep. The temptation is high because you are exhausted and just want relief, but combining any dose of acetaminophen with an acetaminophen-based sleep aid is one of the most direct ways to push your liver into failure territory. Doctors now strongly advise against relying on these combination PM products for regular use, especially when combined with your existing daytime regimen. The immediate action step: stop guessing. The greatest protection you have against these hidden liver burdens is simple label literacy. You cannot rely on the packaging color or the brand name anymore. You must become a vigilant ingredient inspector. Starting today, go through your medicine cabinet and physically hold up every pill, capsule, or liquid that relieves pain, fever, cough, cold, or sinus pressure. Locate the active ingredients box on the back. It is usually small and required by law. You're hunting for those 3 specific words: acetaminophen, APAPI, or paracetamol. If you find that ingredient, draw a red circle around it with a marker. This medication is now flagged as a primary liver concern. Now, if you have 2 or more bottles flagged with that red circle, you must never take them concurrently. They cannot be used within the same 6 to 8 hour window. This sounds restrictive, but it is the necessary discipline to protect the only liver you have. If you suffer from arthritis, chronic pain, or frequent colds, you must prioritize. You must choose one acetaminophen product and stick to its instructions perfectly. Do not assume a pill is safe just because it treats congestion and not pain. If it relieves fever, it almost certainly contains acetaminophen. Understanding this hidden double dosing is the first critical step toward liver safety. But acetaminophen is not the only offender. In our next segment, we will tackle the second major pharmaceutical trap facing seniors: the dangerous combination of popular anti-inflammatory medications like ibuprofen and naproxen with common heart and stomach medications. These combinations present entirely different risks, focusing on internal bleeding and kidney damage, and they are just as commonly mixed up in the senior medicine cabinet. Stay with us. We have identified the stealth threat: acetaminophen hiding inside your cold and flu medicine. But the danger does not stop there. The biggest toxic challenge comes when you combine this hidden dose with a completely different type of medication that also demands high-priority processing from your liver. Listen closely, because this next combination is what doctors worry about most in older patients. This combination involves the second most popular class of OTC pain relievers. We are talking about NSAIDs, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. NSAIDs include common medications like ibuprofen, naproxen, and aspirin. When you have severe pain, maybe a flare-up of arthritis or a bad toothache, it is natural to feel that one pill is not enough. You might take a standard dose of acetaminophen. Then, 2 hours later, you think, "I need something stronger," and you reach for ibuprofen. This seems logical. You think you are tackling the pain from 2 different angles. And technically, you are. But your liver does not see 2 different angles. It sees a massive sudden chemical surge that must be detoxified. While acetaminophen is the direct liver hazard, ibuprofen adds immense strain. NSAIDs place immediate stress on the kidneys and the stomach lining. When the kidneys slow down, the liver is forced to work even harder to clear toxins. This creates a critical metabolic traffic jam. The combined inflammatory stress from both chemical classes forces the liver to operate at dangerous peak capacity for too long. If you do this regularly, even low doses become chronic liver abuse. We call this stacking the burden. You are forcing your detoxification system to handle two large, distinct chemical processes simultaneously, day after day. This is the recipe for chronic inflammation that eventually leads to permanent liver scarring. But there is an even sneakier combination that puts many seniors at risk, especially those struggling with joint pain that disrupts sleep. Many of you take a specialized PM pain reliever at night. These pills are marketed to help you sleep while easing your aches. What is in that PM medication? It is almost always acetaminophen, plus a sleep aid ingredient like diphenhydramine. Diphenhydramine is an antihistamine. It is what makes you drowsy. But the antihistamine itself must be metabolized and cleared by the liver. This is the toxic loop. You take an acetaminophen product during the day for knee pain. Then, you take an acetaminophen-based PM product at night to sleep. That is 2 doses of the main liver danger. Crucially, the liver cannot efficiently detoxify both the large amount of pain reliever and the sedative ingredient at the same time. The sedative component slows down the liver's ability to process the acetaminophen's toxic byproducts. Imagine 2 urgent delivery trucks arriving at a single loading dock. The antihistamine truck sits blocking the bay, while the acetaminophen waste piles up inside, unable to be shipped out. This means the toxic metabolic material from the pain reliever stays in your system longer. It lingers, damaging liver cells hour after hour while you are asleep. This combination of acetaminophen and sedatives is exceptionally dangerous, because the cumulative effect happens while you are unaware. You think you are protecting yourself by getting rest, but you are creating a perfect storm of chemical toxicity. This risk extends beyond OTC PM pills. If you are taking prescription sleep aids, anti-anxiety medication, or specific muscle relaxants, which are common for chronic pain patients, and you add any OTC pain reliever, you must assume your liver is under immediate critical threat. Every single one of these drugs requires high-level processing by the liver. When they compete for the same enzymes, the dangerous components stay elevated in your bloodstream. This is why we stress that chronic low-level abuse is just as serious as an acute overdose. It is not about one mistake. It is about routine combinations that wear down the body's most crucial filter. This pattern of stacking NSAIDs, combining PM pills, and layering on prescription sedatives is responsible for an alarming rise in non-alcohol-related liver failure in our age group. The next critical step is understanding exactly how to read the labels for these hidden traps and what alternative steps a pharmacist recommends to manage pain safely. We need a clear, non-negotiable strategy for protecting your liver capacity moving forward. We have covered the major direct risk combinations. Now, let's talk about the silent danger that catches most people over 60, hidden acetaminophen. You must become a detective when you look at medication labels. Do not just look for the name brand you trust, look for the ingredient itself. Acetaminophen often hides inside your cold and flu remedies. It is mixed into certain prescribed muscle relaxers. It's even combined with stronger prescribed pain medication, like those often given after surgery or a bad injury. This is where the double dosing happens without you ever knowing. Always check the active ingredients list on the box. Look specifically for the letters A, PAP, or PAP. If you are already taking a standard pain reliever for arthritis and then grab a nighttime cold medicine to help you sleep, you are almost certainly doubling up your acetaminophen load. This double dose might be happening several times a week. The accumulated effect is what creates that toxic stress on your liver. The organ never gets a break from processing the poison. So how do you know if your liver is already struggling? The symptoms can be subtle and confusing, especially for seniors. Often the first sign is just extreme, unrelenting fatigue. You might dismiss it thinking, "Oh, I'm just having a rough week," or "I'm just getting older." But if the fatigue is new and overwhelming, pay attention. Watch carefully for changes in your skin. A yellowing of the skin or the whites of your eyes is called jaundice. This is a serious late warning sign of liver failure. Also, look at your body's output. If your urine becomes very dark, like strong tea, or if your stool becomes unusually pale, you must call your doctor immediately. These are not symptoms to wait out. Early detection saves your liver, but prevention is always better than crisis. Prevention starts with honest communication. You must share everything with your primary care doctor and your pharmacist. Treat them as your essential safety partners. Keep a master list of every single thing you take every day. This includes all prescription medications, every single OTC pill you use, and critically, any vitamins or herbal supplements. When you see your doctor, pull out that list. Ask a specific, direct question. Doctor, given everything on this list, is there anything here that is competing for my liver's attention? Your pharmacist is often the most crucial checkpoint in this process. Before you ever pay for a new OTC product, hand your pharmacist your complete list. Ask them, will this new pain reliever interact dangerously with my blood pressure medicine, my sleep aid, or my anti-inflammatory pill? They are experts in these dangerous chemical overlaps. Use their knowledge freely. Finally, liver protection isn't just about avoiding pills. It's about supportive care through lifestyle. Your liver loves clean water. Make sure you are properly hydrated throughout the day. Dehydration stresses every major organ, forcing the liver to work harder. Research also strongly suggests that coffee, in moderation, can actually be very protective for the liver in many people. A few cups a day can be helpful, but always talk to your doctor about your specific caffeine limits, especially if you have heart concerns, and minimize alcohol intake. Even small amounts of alcohol, when combined with a regular OTC pain regimen, dramatically increase liver strain. Think of alcohol as the final unnecessary straw for an already struggling liver. We have spent significant time protecting your liver from these dangerous combinations. But what about the other vital filtering organ that takes a severe hit from improper medication use? The kidneys. Your kidneys are often silently damaged by the very same NSAID pills we use for nagging pain and inflammation. In our next crucial guide, we will turn our focus entirely to kidney safety. We will reveal the 3 common OTC drugs that put your kidneys at the highest risk, and what safe alternatives you absolutely need to discuss with your doctor instead. Click the notification bell now so you don't miss that vital safety update. We are committed to keeping you safe and healthy.